Hello everybody, how are we doing today? Today is really hot here in Madrid. It's making a really nice 100 degrees and I'm melting. No, it's not that bad. It could be worse. It's just 29 degrees. It's just that it's so dry, you know. But yeah, and the pollen, man, it's really something. Okay, let's continue with Phoenix Wright, man. We can let's make some progress. We're on the day of the trial, and hopefully we can make some. Yeah, maybe we can complete the second day of trial. Yeah. So what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. Look, it's Lana! And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. Capital punishment? Dude. The Japanese don't screw around, huh? But Lana, don't tell me you, much to my regret. I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Ah, yeah, right. Miss Sky, We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. Yep. What kind of trace evidence? Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. Yeah, that's quite something, huh? Let me move the webcam just a little bit to the left. There we go. Okay. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? Damn right. We have to play the cards we are dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Sky? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. February 24th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. Court is now in session. For the trial of Miss Sky. Defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Okay, so... Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one mess-up trial, yep. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today, I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. Yep, no one knows what's going on. Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Yep. This is going to be a wild trial. Will the witness please state his name and occupation and the location of the Chaos Emeralds?
Yes, sir. I'm Officer Mike Meekin, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir.
So you're telling us you're a professional killer?
Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I will never kill anyone again, sir. You got to believe me, sir.
Oh, actually, what we'd like to hear from you is...
Sir, I'm what you call part of the younger generation, sir. A person's action adults can possibly comprehend.
Please, Mr. Ashworth, sir, help me, sir. That's funny. Officer Meekins.
Yes, sir.
Give us a report of the crime. Consider that an order.
Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I'm part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir. You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm.
Crime report, sir.
Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life, then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake.
Oh. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you.
Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir.
I see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness.
Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir.
Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info. Yeah, that's right. We have to press him some... Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. That's suspicious, as it is. Because it's the evidence transfer all day. Spotted a suspicious man at the security screen and rushed into the room. How? Weren't you in watching the door? Okay, let's see. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct?
Precisely, sir. I have one here around my neck.
So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? Uh-huh.
There it is! I found it! This is the one, right here.
Could you please read us the number?
Yes, sir. It's 4989596. That's my number, sir.
I see. But the number 5989596 is shown as being used twice. Please explain, witness.
It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room.
What? And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down. I see. So it was during that second time when...
Yes, sir. That was when I spotted the man on the security screen.
Huh. Let's press him there just in case. He probably has a bunch of information we could use. Guarding the Blue Badger. Huh. Okay, he was meant to protect the Blue Badger. But it got broken, right?
After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room.
Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? Huh. The Blue Badger, I think it's the key to the whole trial. We are on unknown waters right now. Okay. I was suddenly attacked. We have to get all the information we can out of him. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you?
It was a knife, sir, a knife!
Detective Goodman put a knife on you. What happened then?
Well, with me chonging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was.
Aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into.
That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand.
Huh.
When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar.
That's probably Marshall. Huh. We have a bunch of interesting clues here. What exactly did you mean when you say you did it?
I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into Kung Fu films, sir.
He snatched the knife.
I spun him around and performed my disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man.
I see.
The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood. And then the next thing I knew,
Yes.
he punched me right in my face, sir.
It's also interesting that Goodman's coat is white. Huh. Goodman, white coat? What's next? A pink samurai, a pink something? Another officer smacked me awake. Let's see what else is there.
No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious.
Yeah. He woke up at about 5:30. That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you covered that is.
When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir.
Mission?
Yes, sir, the blue picture, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand.
Oh, really? Well, we can rest easy now. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. See, we just had to press him in all statements. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. He's got a point. Yes, Officer Meekins.
With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gunn delivered it to me just this morning, sir.
Chief delivered it? What is that? Oh, videotape?
Yes, sir, that's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room.
What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape. I was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake.
I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at.
Okay. Yeah, I'm almost sure Gant is one of the murderers. Shows the video. Oh, you murdering the victim.
Please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me.
A video of a real murder. Oh, dude. Can we show this on stream? Let's hope so. We'll figure. Oh, okay. The badger. That's 5:14. Oh, look, that's the guy. Dude, good thing there's a... like the cutesy music here. Oh, the glove dropped. Because else this would be a bit dark. Oh, look, it's Mickens in 3D. That's so cool. So he was there. Oh! Oh man, check that out! I've never seen that, dude. That's so cool. Wow! Oh, that's so cool, dude! What? What? Whoa, 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 whoa. What was that cloth hanging out? At the beginning of the video? I think that was weird. What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood?
Sir, that's the pride and joy of the entire criminals affair department, sir. It's the Blue Vector, sir.
Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Security video added to the court record.
Yes, well, anyway, this tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone in the evidence room and some sort of activity did take place.
Your Honor, instead of relying on clear incomplete footage, the witness' testimony will suffice. Is that alright with you, Officer Meekins?
Yes, sir, as you wish, sir. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do so. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir, so it must be him! No one else could have unlocked it!
What is about a fingerprint?
Each detective has been given a locker, equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to.
Intriguing. That would mean the victim of the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination.
I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Okay. The face can't be seen, but there's no question that was Goodman. Why? How do you know? If he never saw his face.
Well, I suppose you may say that. It is if you must label people as having seen or not seen it.
Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it.
Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stars as disturbing or...
Meekins.
Ah!
Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify.
Yes, sir!
You claimed the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us, why you are positive it was him? I want to check something out real quick. I want to see how the stream looks in mobile right now. Just to, because I'm deciding whether to, well, I'm probably staying in landscape resolution, you know. Yeah, it looks fine. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, let's not. I mean, I can edit. I will still edit the shorts like vertically. So yeah, who cares? Okay. He opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do so. About these lockers, is there no other way to open them?
No, sir. I myself have tried all kinds of methods in the past. You only respond to registered fingerprints, sir.
If the man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to.
Exactly my point, sir, and this too. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir.
How do you know that information?
I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir.
People in the know?
The workers in the department cafeteria, sir, they keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir.
For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source.
So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint.
So it must be him! No one else could have unlocked it!
Let's see. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face.
Sir, in my face, if I may say something, sir.
Please do.
I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock, and it was his hand that tried to thrust the knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify through this, sir.
Unless the defense can find a problem with it. Yeah. Can we watch the tape? Yes. Let's... Yeah, dude. Okay. Is the cloth hanging from the front? No, it's not. Okay, that's it. That's totally it. Yes, there is a big problem. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there's one thing in particular that seems rather strange.
Strange?
This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman.
What? This video contains such contradiction.
Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal.
Yes, Mr. Ashworth.
I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in this video. Oh, you got it, dude. Yes, I'll point it out for you.
Proposal accepted. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of.
I have to point out a problem in the video. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, buddy. Okay, we are going to point to the cloth hanging out of the... Fast forward. Dude, this mechanic is so cool. So great. There we go. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this.
Yes, that is strange. Something certainly seems unnatural about that. What could it mean?
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Wright, but you seem to have forgotten the point of this exercise. The point? What you're looking for is one thing and one thing only. Something that indicates that the man may not be Detective Goodman. What? No, dude, that's it. Let's just save, just in case. Okay, okay. Maybe I missed, like, pointing at the cloth exactly. Yeah, I probably did. Let's see. Dude, this is so crazy. What a cool mechanic. There we go. What? How could that not be, man? Dude, that has to be it. I mean, how could he open that locker? Dude, maybe it's the stain on his shoulder, the blood stain. Because you can see that, like, right away. There. Rewind? Yeah, that's probably it. Maybe. Okay. Dude, I mean, there's so much stuff. I will now play the video. Oh man. Nothing here. Let's rewind. Let's see. Oh. The lights. The locker lights. They should be off. Okay, it's on, so the locker is open. There we go, that's it.
Sir, you mean see me, sir?
As I understand, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint if it's a match. The light turns on and the lock is released.
According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir.
If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. Yep, we got it. But I would better point out to the cloth hanging out from the other locker. That's even worse. Here, notice the light?
What's this? It's already lit?
Yup. Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Yeah!
Order! What's the meaning of this?
It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker was unlocked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked.
Oh, I know. It must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this.
That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any information. And any... whatever.
Oh well, it just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation?
Me, Your Honor?
Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked?
Me, Your Honor? What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator?
Maybe something like jam the system sensor?
Something jammed the sensor. There's something else that seems out of place in this video. Oh, it's probably the gloves. Something jammed the sensor. The glove, because it falls off right after he opens it. Okay, so here. There we go. The gloves. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Yay! So cool. I really like the 3D models in here. It's really nice that they kept that for the end of the game. It's really interesting. No one does that anymore. That's very of anime. Like saving the like the peak, the climax of the anime for the final parts. Very JoJo style. JoJo's.
But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out of the doors when opened. I often fall out and roll great distances.
We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with.
What do you mean?
The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door?
Inserted?
inserted. Insertion, software version 7.0. Looking at lines through the eyes of a tire hub. Indexing.
Oh, I understand now. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me.
But if the object will have to be extremely thin to fit in the door.
Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator.
Yes, an insulator. But the crime scene.
There just might have been something that fits the description. Yep, rubber gloves. There we go. There's a glove. Yep.
But we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker.
It does, it has a tag on it. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker, but that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins?
Sir, it would appear so, sir.
Order! So are we to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman?
Hey Kura, what's up? Yeah man, the trial, we're making some progress. We got to see a videotape of the crime in the crime scene. Look, check it out. We had to point out the evidence or the contradictions. So yeah, that's the blue badger. That's like the police department's pet. That's the apparent victim. Apparently, he opens up the locker. A glove falls off. We found that glove yesterday. That's Officer Meekins, who's the accused for this part of the trial. Well, the apparent murderer. And they get into an altercation. Pretty cool, the models and stuff. That's the first time this happens in the game. It's really nice. It's a nice touch. And like blending the 2D and 3D assets it's pretty cool. And yeah, apparently the victim just disappears. So yeah, that makes no sense. Don't be misled, Your Honor.
What do you mean, Mr. Ashworth?
The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. Officer Meekins, please testify about this.
Sir, me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Ah, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir.
This is a joke?
Very well, begin your testimony.
Mystery Man, number 2.
There's one other thing that proves that man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. An ID card is used as a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card.
This probably has to do with the missing object report we saw yesterday. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. Who is it? That's 777777. The ID used at 5:14 is that of the victim.
Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people in this room?
This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff.
Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end.
Me too. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon.
Right, I see. Now let's move on to the cross-examination.
See, this is the cool mechanic. They testify, and you have to find the contradictions. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Let's press him there. Is that card hanging from your neck one of these ID cards?
Yes, sir. This card right here, right next to my cuff, sir. I keep it here so I won't ever forget it.
But what if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out in the open like that?
Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out my car? Well, the remaining time it's my ID card that gets stuck. Instead of the door closing, my ID card chokes me.
Okay. Apparently they each only have one ID card, but... When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. Yeah, let's keep pressing him. Let it be noted that this is the record the witness referred to.
Let me see. Yes, that would be it. Detective Goodman. According to this, Mr. Ashworth, your name is on here.
So it is, Your Honor. Not that prosecutor again. Hey, maybe he's behind all of this. Mommy, is that man in blue? Don't stare at him.
It would seem the inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today.
I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. For now, let us continue with the class examination. Poor Mr. Edgeworth, it must be so difficult for him.
At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card.
Okay, let's check out the log, the record. So Edgeworth entered at 4:40. Meekins entered at 5:50. But why did Meekins enter beforehand? That's weird. I'm going to press him here just in case. To enter, one must use their ID card. I find it weird that he entered the room earlier. The detective had used his card. Yes, but you did enter earlier. So what's up with that? Do we have anything here? I don't think so. Yeah, nothing there. I'm going to save, just in case. Because there are moments where if you get something wrong, you just lose all of your HP, so... Okay, what does Emma say? The problem with this ID card, the testimony is far too obvious. Yeah, it's probably that he entered the room earlier. I'll present it here. No, that's not it. No, we screwed up. Maybe it's in the next statement. They sometimes kind of mislead you and are a bit ambiguous. But that's just to extend gameplay. Yeah, that's not it either. Let's try again. And you can always do this. You can always brute force your way throughout the game. So... I mean, it's fun. It's mostly for the story. I mean... That's what's nice about this series. I mean, if you want something that requires skill, then just play Dark Souls or something. Okay. So that's not it. It's not the ID card record. Rubber glove, evidence locker. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. There's a record of it. But we found this in the prosecutor's office. So it couldn't be him. Yeah, that's it. We found that ID card on the first day of the investigations. It was lying on the floor in the parking lot.
I'm not good at writing, sir.
I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene.
That makes sense.
It doesn't. When I say crime scene, and it's 30 minutes apart. The parking lot from the evidence room. I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card.
Lost item report? It's only half completed.
But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right? I can say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card.
Order! So now, what does this all mean?
It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his card. So this does make sense.
Order! Does the prosecution have a response?
I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo. Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. Oh, that's right, yeah? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. Well, it seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove.
Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth!
The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place. At the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime.
So?
That's even better, right? So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot, at the prosecutor's office. The murderer being Miss Lana Sky, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon.
Ow.
Meh. Is he referring to Angel Star? Okay. It was all a trap.
That's a trap! The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered, and where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman.
Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else, Lana. Let's save. Object, always. One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not, but I almost ran into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. This is the last case of the first game, Flowerpot. Yeah, I hope you don't get spoiled. But well, probably you've already played this, right? Yeah, it's an old game, you know. But yeah, we're on the second trial of the final case of the first game. However, it cannot be said that this is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Oh yeah, specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further investigation to the truth of the matter.
Mr. Ellsworth,
Yes, Your Honor.
if this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. Okay, I think we made it through the second day of the trial. Mr. Wright, do you mean? Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh, okay, I think we can get to Marshall on the same block, you know? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply.
Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testified, what is his or her name?
That's Mr. Jake Marshall. Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Oh man, that's too bad. But it's on sale right now. It's so much cheaper. There are reseller websites where you can find it also. It's the trilogy. Like the first 3 games, it's like $8 only. But if it's about the same to just watch the gameplay. You can watch. This is the last trial, so, and all the other trials are on my channel, so feel free to check them out. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Because what's important about this game is the story, so it's very nice to watch a gameplay of it.
The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time?
We will, Your Honor.
Court is now in recess.
Cool. That's our defendant. February 24th, 11:32 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you've figured everything out. Huh?
Lana, you're the one who knows everything.
Emma.
You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you.
I don't recall ever asking for his protection.
How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you're welcome. I stream regularly, so your subscription would mean a lot to me, and likes and comments and stuff. Since we're at it, guys, remember to click that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment, and interact, and all that good stuff, so we can get this ball going. Yeah, I'm streaming regularly. Yeah. After finishing Phoenix Wright, I'm focusing on Pokemon Randomizer Nuzlocke on Fire Red. And maybe we can start another game and keep, like, what, 2 games in parallel, maybe? I don't know. I also do music and stuff. Feel free to check out my channel, follow my socials.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later.
Gumshoe. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
Sorry, Detective.
You better be, pal. Hey! 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 I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky.
That's okay, so have you brought what I asked?
Oh! You mean this, right?
My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name?
Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I need them by noon. Talk about crazy.
The SL9 incident. But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them.
I can't believe you, the Chief Prosecutor, were a witness in that case.
Miss Sky was a witness? Okay, we have to check those out. Let's check them out. So, if anyone doesn't know, the SL9 incident is a trial. It's a crime that occurred the same day, like I think 2 years ago, from the current murder. So there's something related to both of them, and we have to figure out what. Okay, so files for the Joe Dark killings. It was a serial killer, solved 2 years ago. Incident number SL9, close, perpetrator Joe Dark, crime, serial murder, sentence, death. Victims: Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeff Bates, Neil Marshall. Dude. Trial date: Head Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth. Witnesses: Lana Sky, Emma Sky. Oh, Emma was a witness, dude. Investigation Task Force. Executive Investigators: Damon Gant, Lana Sky. Head Investigator: Bruce Goodman. Investigators: Jake Marshall, Angel Starr. So everyone is involved in this. Okay.
Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders.
That doesn't sound well.
Oh, what? Now that I've brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me?
Emma? But why? Why is your name in here? Oh, see, we were on point checking the evidence out. What? My name is there? I don't know, unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this SL9 incident, is that? That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. The Joe Dark? No, Lana. That's over with, no! Emma, wait! She ran away.
You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here.
Oof. The blood thickens. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. Better take a good look at this file. Yup. Nice! Making progress, making progress. Yeah, this is by far the longest trial in the game. But hey, maybe we can finish it today. That would be cool, actually. Okay. Goody-oh. February 24th, 12:14 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 9.
The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky.
Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Dude, I would love to play Sonic Adventure 2. That would be fun. That game has a nice story mode. Yeah, I'm caring more about story and narrative here because I'm not the best gamer. Any skill that I could have as a gamer, I have it as a musician. So we'll just try to balance both. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner. Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it.
Oh, I know, you're a patrolman.
As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner.
What do you mean?
Desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up.
Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony on the day of the crime. In plain old English.
Yeah, because he doesn't know if he's Spanish or Mexican or Italian or Native American. He's a complete faker. A poser. My job was to keep a warrior in that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Meh. Nope.
I can't say I particularly care for your attitude.
I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? Not being helpful. He's not good with machines or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor?
This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours.
The day of the crime. My job was to keep a warrior in that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. 2 security. Let's press him there. You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course, back my day, the locker was a goldmine of evidence. And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism. Sorry, partner, I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how big a byte works. That's quite incredible. The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too.
At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place?
If I remember right, I was a street-side saloon. He wasn't at his position, man. He was drinking. What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Spaghetti Western, maybe? This is that a reference? Not even Angel's steak lunches can beat that Parlo's fongole sepia pasta. That's probably the joke, that he's a spaghetti Western type of guy, and spaghetti, and Italian, you know?
You abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles?
Not all desperados eat tacos, partner.
That's not what I meant. I hope this at least taught you a lesson.
That's strange. Did you not want to race this year? I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. What does that even mean? Out of ammo? That's right, partner, or as you'd call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me on this crime, then you'd better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back to the sunset.
One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything.
Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Okay. Let's see. Let's save just to make sure we don't waste so much time if we, for some reason, make a mistake. Okay. Let's press him there just in case. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style. Working your job ain't your style, it seems. I'm afraid I don't understand. No, Desperado. I know let's rules get in his way. Then you shouldn't be a police officer, dude. Yeah.
So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime, yes,
Between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day.
there was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that?
Sorry, partner. Can't say I do. Haven't been that crypt in weeks. Huh. So... we have... what do we have to prove now? He says he wasn't anywhere near the evidence room that day. I was at the street side saloon that time it went down. How could we say otherwise? I mean, we already have the... we know that his handprint is here, this one. This handprint was in the evidence room. Maybe we should just present it here. Yeah, that's it. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene, or to be exact, a handprint. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm a caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects. That is, make my rounds about once a month. What an irresponsible idiot. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. No. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. That's right.
Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene?
The blood was wiped away, however. A luminal test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall? Yeah, dude, no problem. I hope you enjoy them. Oh, Apollo Justice also, yeah. I haven't played it. Hey Oridex, what's up? Yeah, there's a bunch of memes with these characters and so many animations. There's this series called Phoenix Wrong. Let me look it up real quick for you guys. Dude, Oridex, we caught a Quagsire in the Fire Red Nuzlocke, and let's just say he didn't last long. I named him Oridex, but yeah, he couldn't make it. So there's this series that I watched a lot when I was younger, when Flash animations were like very famous, I don't know, very popular, let's say. Phoenix Wrong, and they're pretty funny. There's a bunch. Yeah, man, I'm so... Oh, dude. That last episode was really something, man. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall. About the blood-stained fingerprints. Yeah, dude, that episode... Oof. That's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough, but we still haven't lost. Yeah.
Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints. Found out the scene of the crime.
After we're done with Phoenix Wright, I'm focusing a bit more on the randomizer, on the Nuzlocke randomizer, and then picking up another game. I'll have to look up what other game to do. So yeah, that's what I want. That's why I want to finish this trial. Not take too long, but it's a long trial and we're having fun. So yeah, it's not too bad. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. This is cutting off my audio. Okay. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it.
The witness explanation appears valid. I thought there's room for doubt.
Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
I have to improve some things on the stream. This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. I can feel it. Let me take a note. I make a bunch of notes, like to continuously improve the stream and yeah, having fun. Okay. Now's my chance to prove it. Okay, blood-stained fingerprints. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in the evidence room. But they are bloody. That's because, how you put it, pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine.
What do you mean?
I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. See that dangling cloth? That's suspicious. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Oh, we up there. Okay, so we had to press him there. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. What about the bloody handprint? Wasn't mine. It's no mystery.
Please explain.
My locker is covered with my fingerprints. Just so happened. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The blood stain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Yeah, thank you for hanging out, Flowerpot. I hope you enjoy it. Come by anytime. You're completely welcome to hang out at the stream. If you have any suggestions of things you might like to see, then check out the channel, and whatever interests you, just let me know. I mean, I do whatever you guys want me to do. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? Okay, wait. How did he know that the murderer was wearing gloves? Oh yeah, dude. I'm going to edit the clips so they have like cool edits, you know, like memes and stuff. Yeah, it was heavy. I mean, it's all for entertainment, but yeah, man, 100 subs. It's great, dude. Thank you also for hanging out and for subscribing. I really appreciate it. We'll see how we do. I mean, it's pretty exciting. There's difference night and day, kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast, and the other's a type of murder.
He's right. Although seemingly alike, they're totally different.
How did he know that he was wearing gloves? There was a blood stain at the scene thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found in Detective Gomish's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on the handprint. The murderer,
Wearing gloves, happened to place their hands on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint.
that's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? This seal of blood in the desert. It's just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. The security tape. So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise.
This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination.
Let's just save. I don't want to take on a fake warning. We have to be cautious. Oh, really, dude? Oh, thank you, man. That's so nice. If you want me to clean it up for you, then I'll just post a cleaner version of it. Let me clean it up a little, like make it more straight, and so it fits better. There's a couple of details, so I will post it again on YouTube, and then mention you on the post, and you can take it from there. Yeah, how about that?
Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue testimony, Officer Marshall.
Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right, partner? Let's press him there. Oh, let me take a note of that. Yeah, I can get to that probably tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to edit a bunch of stuff. Yeah, no, man, thanks to you. Thanks for all the support and the good vibes and for hanging out. You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots.
Blind spots?
Places you can see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright.
Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now.
Yes, there is. There is evidence. And he himself testified to it. So we are on the right track. This is so cool. I love this mechanic. And they show it to you like so later on in the game. Okay. So for everyone who's just joining in, that's the locker where that's the victim's, the parent victim's locker. And that's apparently the victim, but it's probably not him. This is Officer Meekins, the accused of the victim's murder, because we're solving two trials at the same time. So they have an altercation. And the victim is now missing. But Marshall, the cowboy poser, testified that this is his locker. And now there's a piece of cloth hanging from there. So that's the evidence we need. Bringing our attention back to the security camera. It's a mistake. I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Making progress, guys. Good stuff.
Oh, the white cloth, it's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall?
When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. That's right.
Order, order! It would seem that's the...
Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was opened? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. Nope. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened the locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. He doesn't know about the fingerprints thing. He doesn't understand machines. Yeah. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. Yeah, exactly. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say I opened that locker. Now prove it. We just present the locker because here it says the assigned detective's prints can unlock it. That's it. Oh, fingerprint sensor. We got him. We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this.
In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks.
So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? Is that a piece of beef jerky? Oh yeah, it is. I only got one word for you, partner.
Oh no! Order, order, order! Witness, explain yourself!
If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard. I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime.
Olé!
Please answer the question. Now, and that's Spanish from Spain. It has nothing to do with Mexico or Italy or Texas. Okay, I guess that's the joke with all of this. Yeah, exactly. What is he now, a bullfighter? That's right, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest from here.
We can?
Have a look at these floor plans. Dude, we're making progress. Great. I never finished this trial before, so this is all new for me. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall.
If that's so, then where was the witness?
It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right. The only possible conclusion.
Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime?
I would say that Marshall dressed up as Goodman. Officer Marshall was standing right here.
So Officer Meekins didn't notice him standing there. That's almost as credible as Meekins' warp theory.
Oh no, that's not him. Okay, let's save just in case. But apparently he's not the killer.
Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime?
Oh, dude, Ah, no! Right, he says... No. Here they say that Meekins is the killer, so Marshall would have been the victim. And the victim was supposedly Goodman, but I think he dressed up as Goodman. Officer Marshall was standing right here.
There, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was.
Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up as Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. When he saw that man's face, he'd know for sure. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman? He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted.
When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card.
Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond?
He suddenly pulled a knife on me.
Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had had his ID card, why didn't he just show it?
Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it.
The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card.
Oh, I get it.
If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? You've got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Sorry, getting some gas. Circumstantial evidence. You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective, unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim.
I can say I particularly care for your cooperative disposition.
I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Once again, with a beard? Okay, we have to prove that he was dressed as the victim. But I don't know how we can do that. Let's just save just in case. Okay. It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside the box. Shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. Or rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place?
What do you mean?
There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later, as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth?
Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions.
Very well. Let's take another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth.
I think that's his coat.
Please show us why.
Yeah, I'm almost sure it's his coat. Because if you see, when they fight, there, Meekins stains his clothes. Stains his coat. And he cannot walk around with a blood stain on his shoulder. You disguise yourself as Detective Goodman and enter the evidence room, though I don't know what to end yet. To what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood.
A blurry white coat.
You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner. Nice. I think we got him.
Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth?
Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. What? Oh, 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now. Now, would we? What does that mean? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. All right. Seems the time has come. Marshall's confession. Okay. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID card and dressed like him. I planned to... well, I couldn't see that one. I was expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
So the supposed victim was really you.
But there's one thing I still don't understand. Where are the Chaos Emeralds? The traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his right hand. His own hand. Oh, I remember something I want to do later. I want to make like commands for you guys. Like allow you to play music, not music, but sound clips and stupid stuff. So you can just interact with the stream and do whatever you want. I mean, it might get crazy when there's more people, but we'll see how it goes. Was way too much blood for such small donation. I mean, the Twitch emotes, it's kind of that, but I would like it to be a bit more aggressive, you know? Like play meme videos and stuff. That would be fun. That's probably gonna backfire, but yeah, that could be fun. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. What? We're going to get all the information we can. Do we even have to ask, partner? The SL9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. I was going to completely end with that transfer of that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case's lead evidence can look through the evidence. Lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time, no matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. You weren't in charge. That day was my last chance. That's why I stole the detective's ID card and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. How could he steal it if the ID card ended up in the parking lot? So either he planted it or he's lying. So let's just present the card here. He's lying. That's not him. No? Oh no, apparently that's not it. Okay, let's just give it another shot. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transfer, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera?
And the detective's ID card?
I stole that the morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. Okay. Apparently. You managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. Yeah, that makes sense. I was expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off? Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time.
Officer Meekins. Certainly is a one-in-a-million type of person, mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID.
I have to think a little more about his race this year. Oh, dude. Anyway, he threw himself at me, and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way, with me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say.
So you knocked Officer Meekins out and...
Managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. Let's keep pressing him just in case. So you did do the research. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby.
So what you're saying is on that day...
There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. But the blood found at the scene clearly indicates a crime took place. Or are you blind? The victim shown on that tape is me. And I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker. Actually, no I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone.
What? Mr. Ashford, where is that evidence?
It's still missing, Your Honor. That's probably the jar we have. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? By the way, partner, it's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer. This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Oh man, with the salary again. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one's mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with.
The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more.
I can't just forget the SL9 incident, you know why? Why? But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room.
Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence.
I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it?
I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at the trial. Something no one would talk about.
What happened?
I don't... wrong boys. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. Here. Okay, we probably have to present the files here. Let's check them out. So, oh, whoa. Neil Marshall. It's one of the victims. That's his motive. Yeah, that's it. For sure. We will have to point it out. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I have the SL9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Exactly. Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago. Oh. He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
What? A prosecutor?
You must be talking about the King of Prosecutors award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands.
But what's his relation to you?
He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, the then Deputy Chief of Police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least according to the public records.
What do you mean?
My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beat him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me.
Well, at least one thing's certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime.
That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happened by chance never cease to amaze me. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? It's got to be more than just that.
So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one.
Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky. But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial. Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. Seems to me this voice got to draw on you, partner. All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Sky. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Star is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. Let's save. Things are getting heated up. So remember that there's a limit of 3 days per trial, so we have probably another day left.
It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty.
Now then, time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant.
Hold it! Emma!
Your Honor, wait!
Emma!
The defense has an objection, a scientific objection, right?
What do you mean, right?
Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian?
Your Honor? In a sense.
Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please.
I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3.
I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings.
Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky Sisters were in that file. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing, the other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Scumshew's locker?
But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if I examine it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again.
Did you find anything?
No.
Huh?
Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator at all.
Is that all?
Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student.
And I'm just an attorney.
But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you.
Me? Oh boy.
Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright, with regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain?
It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this?
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use, but still, if you can find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be...
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day.
Yes, Your Honor. If I've needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Scumshew's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? Let's check it out. Is it this one? No. This one? No. I'm pretty sure it's the hand itself. This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright.
You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes. Take a good look at this floor plan. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something has been drawn on there? Yes, something that when drawn will completely change the meaning of the blood mark.
Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright.
With all this evidence, there's got to be something I can use. Yeah, let's save. Something is missing from the floor plans. I bet it's a blue badger. I would have said that the handprint is not the right hand, or the correct hand, better said. But it's probably the badger, because the badger was in front of that that thing. What about that piece of plywood? The blue badger, mascot of the police force, defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The blue badger is not there. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well,
Well, what? Ah!
that's right. So long as the blue badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker.
What?
Yup.
Oh, so that means, just exactly what does that mean?
It means it can't be done.
What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found in that locker.
Don't look at me, I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma, on that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the blue badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on the locker. So that means this blood mark was left there before the blue badger was brought in.
Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time. Huh. Right, this makes sense. Yeah. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. Oh. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. Let's save just in case, because things are getting heated up. Okay, when did the first incident occur?
To summarize, the defense claims that prior to the officer Meekins being cut by Jack Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room.
That's right, the blood mark.
Well then tell us, when did this first incident occur? As Mr. Ashworth said, proof must be presented.
Proof that shows when the murder took place.
Now then, will the defense please present this evidence?
No, Kuro, it's just this one. This is the final trial. The others are nowhere near as long. Not at all. This is like the climax of the game. The others are so much shorter. I think the first one is just in less than half an hour you can complete it. Okay, so when the the jar. Yeah, yes, this is probably it. This is the proof. It's quite simple, you see? If it's so simple, then don't get it wrong. Huh? Oh, no, I got it wrong. Okay, let's try again. Okay, when did the first incident occur? When the first crime took place? It has to be this one. Yeah, I mean, when else? Yeah. The record, I guess. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it, exactly. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required.
ID card? Oh, the ID card record.
Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at...
Let's see here, 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. This man says so, just what have you done?
I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it.
I'm afraid I don't understand either.
It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible.
That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card number remaining. 7777777. 7! What's up, 7? The finest viewer, 7. Talk about a lucky number.
But wait, that doesn't make any sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room?
Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7777777.
Mr. Edgeworth, please look on this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 7777777.
That's 17 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card, at least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 7x7 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. But that's ridiculous. Just how? I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority.
In an official case filed against an executive, it's accepted.
An official charge. You all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. Huh. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask you a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her. The defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lana? Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we've looked up her ID number. And it's not 7x7. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident.
Yes or no incident?
Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In the trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Maybe, maybe not. Dude, but yeah, this part of the trial is quite long. I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution of that trial. At the time, occasionally, we felt powerlessness of the law. At least I did. Lana. I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law.
Defendant, just what are you saying?
I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did?
Chief Prosecutor, you didn't.
I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved.
But Lana,
even if it involved forging evidence. Oh. So she did forge evidence on SL7. SL9, was it? See, that's what I'm talking about. No.
No. Order!
Lana's remarks caused such a stir, the chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. To be continued. Whew, that was really something, huh? Ah, dude. Intense. This is an intense trial. Okay, I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to deal with some chores. I'm going to continue streaming later for sure. I'm having a lot of fun. We'll probably continue with Phoenix Wright. We can maybe finish the trial today. That would be great because then I can edit the videos tomorrow and Tuesday. But yeah, I'm pretty much sticking to the schedule. Maybe not the hours precisely, but the days I do stick to. So yeah, guys, remember to please subscribe, follow, hit that like button, comment, and feel free to participate in any way you want. And thank you everyone for coming in. Thank you to the regulars, Oridex, Kuro. Thank you always. You're always welcome to hang out. And thank you also to the first timers. And we are making progress each day. I'm really happy with it. So yeah, I'll see you guys